They said it was impossible. They said,
you can't put together the most elite team of comic book reviewers on the planet and do, a podcast or something like that?
Despite all that, today we can proudly announce... Yeah, they were right. We couldn't do it. So instead, we brought you the most vile, ignorant, unprofessional group of comic book enthusiasts we could find. This is Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic podcast.
Another wonderful episode of Panel to Panel. I'm Josh, here today with good buddy Adam.
Greetings.
And today we're going to be talking about the Immortal Hulk number 16.
This is a cool cover.
It is a cool cover.
It's a fucking Rick Jones, probably standing behind his grave.
His own grave, yeah. He's sitting at his own grave playing a harmonica.
You have Hulk in the fucking moonlight, or the surface of the moon.
Staring at him. Yes, it's going to be great. Before we get into that, if you want to listen to more of our stuff, you can go to YouTube. Game Rage Magazine there at YouTube. Check out all of our shit. Over 500 videos on our channel. It's fucking quite astonishing. Additionally, you can also like, comment, and subscribe as well. That'd be great. Additionally, you can go to Instagram and TikTok. Follow us at Game Rage Magazine. Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. If you like music, you can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram and go listen to the All Gas No Trash podcast. Also, if you like anime and manga, you can go listen to the Anime Syndicate podcast and follow Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast. All right. Now that's done, let's get into the Immortal Hulk number 16.
Indeed.
We just talked about the cover. So as always, this was very interesting. The quote of the beginning of the issue: "This place is not a place of honor. No highly esteemed deed is commemorated here. Nothing valued is here. What is here is dangerous and repulsive to us. This message is a warning about danger," from the U.S. Department of Energy.
I want to know what the
whole context of that is. Yeah, me too. I really want to know what that is. But basically, we open up and we get
Rick Jones.
Yeah, Rick Jones, and it's like it's like Bruce. Or I don't know if it's Bruce or if it's actually fucking the Devil Hulk or whatever narrating this.
No, it's him, I think.
Oh, it's Bruce?
It's Rick Jones talking about his first experiences with the Hulk, and they're just kind of the relationship that he's had with the Hulk.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But, well, it comes into play later, but you could see his limbs are not, in fact, the traditional green that we have come to expect from the Hulk that we know.
Yeah,
but in the past, in I think the first incarnation of the Hulk, he originally was gray, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not. It's been a while since I kind of looked up the Hulk lore, but anyways, there's a little exposition boxes that talk. It's Rick Jones like writing almost like a diary entry.
Like he's describing what happened or whatever, and then we get to Shadow Base Site B. Location unknown, and
so they have his body, and he may or may not be alive, or I don't actually. I think he is alive, or they've taken out his body. The U.S. government did, and they're putting some kind of green goo on him.
Yeah, from like a heart or something. Like and he's like he's just basically saying like, man, I didn't know what all this shit was. Everything was new. And he's like, he's just getting covered in this fucking goo, man. Like, he's talking about how, like, he's describing what he saw, and he's like, how do I describe this? And he's like, there was this something else there. It was like something not human, didn't want to be human, something angry. And then the goo starts to, like, fucking mold into, like, this anger face kind of thing around him.
Yeah, so my theory is that they're probably going to use Rick Jones against the Hulk, or they're trying to make him a new weapon, possibly against him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So then we cut to Arizona. We have Jackie sitting there at her desk, the reporter, and he says, basically, you hear it's the text box of Rick Jones still narrating, and he says, "Then he called me an insect and slapped me across the room, and that was how I met the Hulk."
That was his first.
That was his first
experience.
encounter. Yeah, and she's like, and she's reading like the book Sidekick, which was by him, right? Yeah. She's like, hey Jackie, can I have a word with you? And it's the boss guy, and he's like, oh, I was just thumbing through Rick Jones's autobiography, thinking there might be something in there. He was the first person to meet the Hulk, but I it could be, but I don't know. I'm a human interest piece. He's like, right, not a news piece. And he's like, Jackie, you remember when you said we broke the Hulk story, so we had to keep breaking it? It was right before you got us that exclusive from Captain Marvel in space. And she's like, yeah, I remember. He's like, great, because I kind of need the Jackie McGee who said that back on my staff. She's like, yo, and he's like, listen, you said it yourself. It's your story. It's the Herald story. She's like, yeah, but it comes with a price. Bruce Banner's world, his life, it's horror, Marie. It's hell. You see things there. Things you can't unsee. And then you see that fucking Rick Jones with no eyes fucking in the background behind her. Or that's right, it's their dad, yeah. Man, that was fucking, that's a creepy ass fucking like imagery right there. And she's like, and what is our big Hulk story anyway? That he's back? There's footage of him chatting with space raccoons in Manhattan? What do we have now that the national papers don't? And he's like, well, there's this. An old contact in California sent me these crime scene photos. House near the beach, torn apart from the inside. So what, just another sighting? And he's like, no, the property is registered to Elizabeth Ross Banner. And it's like the hole in the fucking wall of the house. Yeah, it's all fucked up and shit. And she's like, oh shit. And she's like, after Dad's funeral, she took a taxi from the airport. Driver said some homeless guy was waiting for her. Skinny, brown hair, and now she's missing. There's a flight to LAX in 3 hours. You can get out to the property by sundown. And just between us, the board took a meeting this morning. We're expanding. New offices, more staff, wider distribution. The Herald is going national thanks to the Hulk. No pressure or anything. And then we get back to the text boxes, and it's like a lot of people ask why I keep chasing after Bruce. Is it envy? I'll admit, early on, I was curious about what it was like being him, but there was always more to it than that. Bruce Banner gave his life to save mine. I owe him. That's the bottom line. And now we get to what's his name?
Doc Samson.
Doc Samson. God damn it! Carrying Bruce fucking in his arms as they're bounding around, and he's like, all right, we're here. And he's like, this is a spot. And he's like, oh, if that's the tunnel Hulk dug, then this is where the government brought me after what happened in Iowa.
So they're in the shadow base, the old location after they evacuated.
And he's like, someone did anyways. He's like, I don't remember most of it. I think I was dead, but I came to right around here after the Hulk, after he broke out. And he's like, yo, something wrong, Bruce? He's like, nothing. We can't waste time on me, Leonard. They've stolen Rick's corpse. And we know that for sure, is Samson tells him, he's like, yeah, I'm sure. It fits everything. You were the one who spoke to the groundskeeper at the graveyard, remember? And he's like, Rick's body was exhumed by literal men in black with official clearance. And then there's the gravekeeper guy and this dude with like a fucking badge holding it up. It didn't even make the papers. What does that tell us?
Can you go up a bit before? Fuck.
Oh, I just broke your phone all over the place. Terminated.
Anyways, scroll up a bit. Go down. No, it was just me then. Okay, never mind.
Oh, all right. So then basically he's like, Rick died because I wasn't there. And he's like, I couldn't even visit his grave. I was ashamed, but I'm not letting him down again. And so Samson tells him, like, what about Betty? Doesn't she need us? She was shot dead. And then she got up again and smashed through the wall. And then we cut back to that thing with that goo or whatever all over fucking, what's his name?
Fucking transform into something.
I don't know what the fuck that is. Somehow I doubt Rick's going through anything like that right now.
Even though he's like going through a basic hell.
Yeah.
I love how casual he is about his own wife, like being shot. He's like, she'll take care of herself.
Yeah, she'll figure it out. And he's like, well, sorry, Leonard. He's like, we're out of time for this session. And then he transforms into the fucking Hulk. And God, it looks so fucked up, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if any other comic does it the way they do it, because it's like straight body horror.
Yeah, it really is. Which I imagine if the Hulk was real, this is
probably what happens. Yeah.
And so then the Hulk's out and he's like, what's with that face, Samson? He's like, nothing. I don't suppose you can tell me what happened to your Hulk. And he's like, oh yeah, I ate a guy. He was annoying me. He's like, well, are we doing this or what? And he's like, looks like nobody's cleaned this shit up since I was there. It's all fucked up inside of there. And he's like, man, I guess they weren't lying about abandoning this place. And he's like, I don't know if we're going to find Rick here, but we're going to find something. He's like, with me on the loose, they'd want to leave in a hurry. I'm betting they left something behind. And he's like sniffing, and he's like, I smell gamma. He's like, let's see, what's through this door? And they're trying to like fit through this door. This is like this big door, but like they don't both fit through. And so he's like, when you said left something behind, I thought you meant clues. And then there's all these fucking just like
gamma-powered fucking
gamma-powered animals. There's a bat, there's a fucking, I don't know, a dog or a wolf, and there's kind of like, there's like a bear or some shit like that. And then the Hulk's like, ooh, yes, my kind of clues. And then he just starts fucking these things up. He's just beating the shit out of these fucking animals. And then we go back to this fucking abomination that's in the lab being created. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, the cocoon stage is almost complete, General. And they're like, oh, God. And they're looking, it just looks fucking horrible, man. Like,
it's like crocodile skin.
Yeah, it does. And he's like, I'm sorry, Jones. I'm really sorry. And the General's like, let's keep it professional, McGowan. And then she's like, General Fordian, sir, you were right, General. They found out, and they came running. And then you see the Hulk fucking beating the shit out of I don't know, it's like a gorilla. He's like, good, spring the trap on my signal. And then we cut back to California, and we see the cops and everybody, the crime scene investigator, the coroner, everybody's out here taking pictures and shit. And so we get Jackie out there, and he's like, they're basically just talking about this Hulk shit, and this guy's like a detective or whatever of some kind that she's talking to. She's like, listen, there's some things, he's like, you're like the resident Hulk expert basically, and there's some things that we don't want to make public. And she's like, listen, half the conversations I have are off the record, detective, so if you want to take it further, I protect all my sources. And he's like, well, off the record, forensic found blood, bone fragments, and brain matter, so it doesn't look good. Somebody died in that house before it got smashed, judging by the blood splatter on the wreckage. She's like, do you think the Hulk killed her? I doubt it. He's like, we found a bullet hole for one shot, came from outside. For another, well, whatever brought one of those walls down, it left this behind, and it's this big-ass, like, red feather. And she's like, yeah, it's like an eagle feather, but blood red. And he's like, well, Miss McGee, like I said, right now, you're the expert. So what kind of a Hulk leaves that? And then we get this, like, bird,
like
fucking
a harpy,
yeah, this red fucking bird harpy, which I don't know what the fuck this is.
That's Betty.
Is that her? She turned into this?
Yeah, because they talked about in the previous conversation that she's part of some cult.
Oh, so
and she ended up becoming a Red Hulk herself.
But this is like her Red Hulk form,
but it was dormant, or they took that out of her at some point. But now apparently she is able to tap into that once more.
Yeah, so then in the text box, or the the dialogue box, it says there's one more kind of a monster as it's showing her. And then sometimes it's a great green beast smashing because it's the only way it can let the pain out. Sometimes it looks at you through stone gray eyes that know just how to hurt you. And Hulk's killing all these animals and shit. And it says sometimes it's the devil himself, and sometimes it looks just like a man. And fucking Samson's getting attacked by the bat, and he's like, yo, Hulk, I need a little help. And he's like, and it says in the text box, like, someone you trust. And so it's funny because this is like a he's like, I've seen the movies, the bat guy always wins, leave it to me, Samson. And then he fucking just murders this bat.
Yeah, little jab at Batman.
Yep, little jab at Batman is pretty good. And so it says, like a father, someone you trust, right? He's like, Samson's just like, oh, this is horrible, you enjoyed this? And Hulk's like, oh yeah, I love this shit. And he's like, and this ain't good. And he's like, yeah, you're right, this is definitely not healthy. He's like, shut up, Samson, think about this. You figure Shadow Base likes their bioweapons free range? He's like, they set him loose so I'd have something to fight. Keeps me happy, keeps me distracted. And then it cuts to General Fordian. He's like, now. And they turn on these fucking big-ass lights, and he's like, well, they moved their guy into, and he's like, oh, no. And then the Hulk fucking basically turns back into Bruce. He's like, what? What? I'm awake. It's night. It should be his time. And then you see that fucking dickhead gun arm guy, fucking Burbank. UV radiation mixed with visible light. We call them solar emitters, Banner. We got that idea from Iowa. And in the text box, it's what's his name? Rick Jones still talking, and he's saying, "I've seen the bad guys win. I've watched the good guys die." And man, fucking Burbank just shoots fucking Doc Samson right in the fucking dome, kills him dead. And Burbank's like, "It's a beautiful day in here, isn't it? All that sun just everywhere. Maybe I'll work on my tan. Maybe I'll go for a run. You want to join me? On your mark, get set, go." And he just starts fucking shooting him. He shoots him right through the stomach. And he's like, I've got the general in my ear just yelling at me like my dad. "Agent Burbank, don't play with your food, you bad boy." Well, if the Hulk were here, he might have a point, but he's not, is he, Bruce? Bruce Banner's here, and Bruce Banner's going to feel every fucking second of this, and Bruce Banner's going to die slow. And he's like, "Oh, I got to get away. I got to hide. And he's like, I gotta. He's like, "Heh." And then she zooms in on Banner's face, and he's like, "Bruce Banner, I got some news for you, big shot. I ain't Bruce Banner." And it's got that like Devil Hulk smile. And the whole time, basically, it was narrating on the panels from the book or whatever about watching good guys die. It's Rick Jones. And if I've learned one thing, I've learned this. He doesn't gloat or give speeches. The real monster stays quiet, keeps his head down. He's got a reputation to think about. He's got a name. Maybe you know it. And then that's the last panel. It's Joe.
Yeah. This is a nod to one of the personas of the Hulk, which is Joe Fixit when he was a mobster in Las Vegas. Like the Hulk has like a pinstripe tuxedo.
Yeah.
And he was like some type of bodyguard or he worked in like Las Vegas. That's all I remember. But this is that persona.
Yeah.
This is one of the Hulks, and it's like cycling through his different fucking Hulk iterations. But
it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So anyways, we get the next image, and look, dude, this looks like it's out of like a fucking Alien movie or like that Romulus fucking shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Looks like they're inside one of those weird alien ships, but they're in some fucking sewer thing, and Bruce is walking out, and what's his name? The Hulk's in the reflection of the water. Mm-hmm. So that's for the next issue. What'd you think about this one?
I mean, not so heavy on the action, with the exception of the encounter with the shadow base animal freaks, the gamma radiated. Yeah. This, I think it's further trying to give us more pieces about each of the characters, and then also setting us up for how the Hulk is gonna get out of this situation, because now that the Devil Hulk is subdued with the UV radiation or the sunlight that they set a trap for him, it's like, all right, time for plan Z or plan K or whatever. Now I need to transition into being another Hulk so I can get out of this fucking situation.
Mess. Yeah.
So that is, I mean, that's pretty sweet. So
it is pretty sweet.
I think it's a great way. I sound like fucking Elmer Fudd. I think it's a great way to end the issue, to leave us on a cliffhanger, but also give us a little something for the next issue, and possibly the Hulk tapping into multiple personalities of himself, or rather, Bruce Banner tapping into multiple personalities of the Hulk.
Yeah, indeed. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But anyways, yeah, this one's pretty good. I enjoyed it. So that'll do it for us, I guess. If you want, you can go follow us on YouTube, Game Rage Magazine. Like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok, Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag.
Twitter/sex.
You can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram, and you can follow Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace out.
That was Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic book podcast. Thanks for listening. If you want to know more and follow along, go to Instagram and TikTok. Follow at Game Rage Magazine. If you want to follow on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Tune in next time.